The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, is brought to you by, well, of course, you. If you want to learn more about how you can support the show, go to patreon.com/expat2020. Hey everybody, this is Expat 2020. Welcome to The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast. This is episode 9, along with my co-host Dan. Dan, how you doing today, man?
Hello, yeah, not too bad. A bit croaky. I think I'm getting ill. I might have the Rona, but, we'll see how that goes.
The Rona, what is that?
Corona.
Oh, Corona.
Yeah.
Oh, the Rona for Corona, okay.
Yeah, that's what all the cool kids are calling it now. If you're
Really?
hip like I am, if you're really hip and street, it's the Rona. So I might have the Rona.
Oh.
But,
Well,
no, it's a bit
hopefully not.
No, of course not. No, it's a bit of a seasonal thing. Autumn has hit the UK like a freight train.
Wow.
It dropped about 20 degrees overnight, and it's properly chilly. So it's just a reaction to that. But
Wow.
yeah. How are you getting on?
Here in Japan, we're in typhoon season now. So we had a typhoon pass by the main island earlier this week, but we got pretty lucky actually. Just a lot of wind and a little bit of rain, but yeah, this is the season. Now through the middle of October is when we get the big number of typhoons that come into the region here. So yeah, we always have to kind of brace ourselves, especially for the elderly and people that live in older houses and in the countryside where flooding is abundant. So but the weather's been cooling down here too. So it's still a little bit of humidity, but it's I think fall is coming fast. I mean, it's already fall now, but yeah.
I gotta say,
So
I
cool.
kind of miss hunkering down during a typhoon, and it's like nice cup of tea, heating on, play some games while outside these storms are raging, and the rain.
And
is
luckily, your
absolutely
internet
blasting.
doesn't go out.
Yeah. Just getting hammered by wind and rain. Good times.
That's the thing I worry about the most. Because I live in a big building, so
you do.
I don't worry about flooding or anything like that. I just worry about the internet going out and the power going out. So
right.
Yeah. So hey, did you hear about with all the pre-orders? Xbox's pre-orders started this last week, and did you hear that people were actually ordering Xbox One X's instead of Series X's?
Yeah. Do you know why they did that?
Yeah.
Because Microsoft is really crap at naming consoles. So
it was like a Homer Simpson moment. Like, don't,
I mean, again, we know my feelings. Microsoft can't. I don't know. It's like they want to fail everything they do. It's like they try.
Well, we're going to talk about Microsoft a lot today anyway, but
yay!
So before we jump into what we've been playing, actually, I want to tell everybody out there that you can head over to the Arena multi-platform gaming news podcast, where you can find us on any podcast app for iOS or Android, as well as on Spotify. And actually now we are on Amazon Music as well. So
what? But we're not musicians.
We're not musicians, but we are on Amazon Music now. So
good Lord.
You can find us, just type the Arena multi-platform gaming news podcast, and boom, you can listen to us on Amazon Music.
Wow.
Just download your favorite podcast app or even Spotify and search for the Arena multi-platform gaming news podcast. Subscribe, follow us, post a review, and leave us questions, comments, and feedback if you like, if that feature is available there. And spread the word about the podcast. We also have a website for the podcast at expat2020.podbean.com, where you can follow us and leave questions and comments as well. Also, if you'd like to support the show and get early access to every episode and listen ad-free along with other perks, please visit patreon.com/expat2020 for further details. You can also follow us on Twitter at The Arena AMPGNP. Finally, the podcast will also be uploaded to my YouTube channel at XBet 2020 Gaming. So you can go there to listen and subscribe and click that notification bell for future podcast episodes. And also leave any comments or questions you might have that we might read on a future episode. So AMPGNP for our Twitter page. That stands for a multi-platform gaming news podcast. So at the arena, AMPGNP. So Dan, what have you been playing this week, man?
I played a lot of Mario 64. I've got all 120 stars on Mario 64. I did nearly have a stroke because it's actually some of it's really infuriating. Some of it hasn't aged well, but on the whole, it's still a GD masterpiece. It's still an exceptional piece of gaming. What have you been playing?
I finished Awe expansion, and
nice.
I finished defeating the final boss, and the last 5 minutes is very, very interesting if you're a fan of Alan Wake.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's all I'm going to say, because I don't want to spoil anything for any of our listeners. But if you like Alan Wake, play the Awe expansion at the end. The last 5 minutes is a treat. And it will give you some information that you might want to know. So,
did they announce Alan Wake 2?
Like I said, please play the game and find out for yourself.
Paying 50 quid to find if it's a bloody advert for Alan Wake 2. Just tell me if it's
no spoilers.
FFS, right? I'll go and look up. That'll be on my Christmas list.
Yeah, so I've also been playing more of Tell Me Why, still
good.
In episode 3.
Yeah.
And I actually, this last week, I upgraded to Game Pass Ultimate. So I downloaded Gears Tactics. So I'm probably going to start Gears Tactics on the PC pretty soon, and I'll have some information on that as well. But Game Pass Ultimate, you can also, of course, get access to xCloud. So I want to try that on my tablet device and on my cell phone to see how the cellular network handles xCloud. So I'm looking forward to trying that pretty soon too. So
can you help an elderly confused man? Because Xbox has got like 17 subscription services now, right? How does it all work?
Basically, if you have an Xbox, and you go to their UI, their interface, you can get in. If you only have a console, you can get Game Pass for console. If you have a PC, you can get
so Game Pass is one,
Yeah, Game Pass, xCloud is basically something that they're tying into Game Pass Ultimate. So that's something that you get along with Game Pass Ultimate, but I'm not sure about the other, for example, if you can get just xCloud standalone. I'm pretty sure you might be able to. We can look into that later, but I don't think they have 17 subscription services.
It sounds, I'm so confused. So they have Xbox Live. Is that still a thing? So is that how you play online multiplayer, right? So they got
right. But if you have Game Pass Ultimate, that is added along with it. Yes.
So if you had Game Pass Ultimate, you'd have everything you needed.
Everything. That's right.
Okay. Interesting.
That's right. Okay, so let's go ahead and move into the weekly news beat. So there's a few stories on the list today, but before we get to the topic of the show, but Amazon announced their cloud gaming platform called Luna. So this news isn't too surprising. The service has been rumored since last year, previously codenamed Tempo, while an Amazon-made game controller leaked out just ahead of today's event. And that controller really reminds me of the Switch Pro controller.
I mean, it doesn't remind you. It's a one-to-one goddamn copy of the Switch Pro controller. It's got one button less than the Switch Pro controller, and that's the only difference. It's outrageous.
Okay, so let's get in.
Yeah.
So let's get into the news about Luna here. So it's not clear when Luna will launch widely, but it will initially be available on PC, Mac, Fire TV, and iPhone and iPad via web apps, with an Android version planned for after launch. Amazon says that interested users in the U.S. can request early access to the service starting this last week when it was announced. So I think it was on the 24th. So there's no word on international availability. So Dan, out in the UK, there's no word yet.
We're fine.
So the service will be available for an introductory price of $5.99 US dollars a month during its early access phase, which gives subscribers the ability to play Luna Plus channel games across 2 devices simultaneously, and offers 4K 60 frame per second resolution for select titles. Naturally, it will be powered by AWS, which is Amazon's ubiquitous web platform. So Amazon says that more than 100 games will be available via the Luna Plus channel, and launch titles which include Resident Evil 7, Control, Panzer Dragoon, A Plague Tale: Innocence, The Surge 2, Yooka-Laylee, Grid, Abzu, and Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. Amazon says more titles will be added over time, and the company has also partnered with Ubisoft for a specific gaming channel. And here's how Amazon describes it. Basically, players who subscribe to this channel will have access to their favorite Ubisoft titles in up to 4K resolution, mobile gameplay, and access to new titles when the channel launches, like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Far Cry 6, and Immortals Phoenix Rising, the same day they release. This is the first of multiple Luna game channels in development, where customers can play games from their favorite publishers and genres. So it goes on to discuss the controller, which we talked about just a minute or two ago. So like Amazon, basically it has a curious relationship with gamers, gaming over the years, dabbling in various different businesses. In addition to owning the streaming service Twitch, Amazon also develops its own games, including the online shooter Crucible, which had such a poor launch, it quickly went back into closed beta. So the company is also working on a massively multiplayer game called New World, which was originally slated to debut this summer before being delayed to 2021. So the news puts Amazon in direct competition with both Google Stadia and Microsoft's xCloud in the increasingly crowded cloud gaming space. And this also is going to have Twitch integration. Inside the Luna experience, players will see Twitch streams from games in the service and from Twitch. They'll be able to instantly start playing Luna games. So games can be played either with a mouse and keyboard or a Bluetooth controller. So to go along with this, Amazon also announced their own Alexa-enabled Luna controller, which will cost $49.99 during the early access period.
How much?
Okay, so $49.99
for a controller.
Yes,
it doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
that's scandalous. Anyway, sorry, that's outrageous.
So anyway, Dan, what do you think of this? I mean, another competitor to Stadia and to Microsoft. Yeah, what do you think of all this? Is this something that I think this is something that in the future they might try to tie on to your Prime membership?
If there's some sort of a discount for a Prime member, that'd be cool. Yeah, I don't know. We're seeing the same thing with like TV streaming though. Like everyone has to have their own streaming service, and does it get to a point when I don't know, because you people can't have like 25 different streaming services. I don't know. It just seems like why?
Yeah, like for example, if you're a Twitch Prime member and you are watching like Amazon Prime, you can get an extra subscription to, like, say, for example, CBS All Access. To watch like Discovery or Picard or whatever. So that's kind of like what's going to be happening with Luna, I think. So you're going to have all these different channels that you can subscribe to those other channels to get their content. But,
it's just weird because like everyone's got one. So obviously Sony and Microsoft have their own. We've got Stadia. We've got this one coming out. We've got numerous other individuals like EA is going to have their own one. Ubisoft's planning to have their own one. It's like, wow, it's just it's just so diffused. Like everyone's trying to jump on this bandwagon, but it's kind of like already been done, right? I don't know. It's a good idea though. I mean, you'd have to choose one that works for you, won't you? Really? And Amazon's a good choice because if like you said,
if you're
quick integration and all that stuff, yeah,
like if you're an Amazon user, I mean, and you're a Prime
absolutely.
member, I mean, and especially. It's really interesting that there's going to be Twitch integration with this because you're going to have a lot of streamers now
for real
on Twitch that are going to be utilizing this, and people that are watching Twitch channels, they'll be able to just instantly jump into a game. Whereas with Stadia, it's more YouTube integrated. So
right, yeah, of course it is, yeah. No, it's interesting times. I mean, again, like, if you don't fancy having a Ninja PC or a 500 quid console. These streaming services are really, 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 really good in theory. I mean, I know Stadia had its performance issues. I don't know if it still has because everything's gone quiet on Stadia, right? I've not heard from Stadia in months.
Yeah.
But if you can get the latency down and get the performance issues ironed out, then this will probably be a really good choice. Yeah. Interesting times.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Like they said, we don't know exactly when it launches, but probably quite soon. Probably before or at the same time the new consoles come out. That's what I'm
you'd
thinking,
figure, wouldn't you? Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, fair play on. But the controller, $49.99.
$49.99.
It doesn't do it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Good. Well, Stadia did the same thing. They had their own controller, and you had to purchase that as well.
So. They don't. But they're just a You can get a Bluetooth controller for like 20 quid. What? Why? What? Who? Why? Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so on to the next story. So Dan, you loved No Man's Sky, right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I did. I do. Yeah.
And you actually played the VR mode. How was the VR mode with that? I never tried that one.
It was pretty good, actually. Yeah. It was very graphically impressive, I got to say, because I was expecting, most of VR games are a bit watered down, because of the you have to compensate for the demands of the headset. But actually, it was very, very, very good. I did enjoy it. Didn't get motion sickness either, which is quite good, seeing how it is full 3D motion. And often I did get a bit queasy, but yeah, they did a good job of it. Yeah, I approve.
Well, anyway, No Man's Sky, their latest update, Origins, dropped, and it gives players millions of new planets to discover. Those strange new worlds will look markedly different from the millions players have already seen over the past 4 years during their journey through the massive procedurally generated spacefaring game. Hello Games' new addition to No Man's Sky include moving weather systems with extreme events like tornadoes and lightning storms, never before seen flora and fauna that exhibit new behaviors like burrowing and improved flocking, bigger mountains, deeper oceans, steeper cliffs, and enormous buildings housing new discoveries. There are active volcanoes and meteor showers, additions that not only look cool, but have a real gameplay impact. And also, they have included sandworms, massive dune-inspired invertebrates that burrow underground and present the kind of threat only a giant sandworm can. So, so basically, the point of Hello Games' Origin free update for No Man's Sky is to increase diversity, both to wow new players who will discover a more varied universe, and for veteran players who have invested hundreds of hours in the game. So yeah, I mean, I remember when this first came out. Well, I mean, this is an old story, of course, but I mean, how there was a lot of negative feelings toward the developers because of how they marketed the game. And it took a while for people or for Hello Games to earn the trust of players again, but it seems over time they've really, really worked hard to bring out something that people enjoy, and this is just another example of more content that gamers across the spectrum will be able to have fun with. What do you think, man?
I mean, yeah, it was obviously rushed out the door. It could have done another year in the oven, and if they had that extra year, they wouldn't have had any of those problems they had at the beginning. I guess it's just being forced out the door, maybe by Sony or some sort of external pressure. Obviously, they didn't want it to come out when it did, but I mean, we've had like 5 or 6 major updates. After about the second or third, it actually became the game they promised from the start. So Yeah, it is pretty amazing. I'll be going back to it. I always get a bit overwhelmed because every time there's a massive update, I feel like I've got to start again because not everything always transfers over neatly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll probably hop back into it. Probably not in VR, just for convenience sake.
Yeah, the last time I played it, I was playing it on PlayStation. So I'll probably I still have it loaded on the hard drive, so I'll probably jump back in and see what it's like, and try to experience some of these new planets and all this increased diversity of plant life, and
Yeah, I've seen some of the footage. It does look even more intriguing. Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm glad they're still going because it's been 6 years. When did that game come out?
4 years. No. Yeah, 4.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. It's been a while. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, fair play to him.
Yeah, so seems pretty exciting to have another update for No Man's Sky.
Yes.
All right. So the next story is Xbox and their storage expansion cards.
Yeah.
So in a blog post, Microsoft confirmed that Xbox Series X storage expansion cards will cost $220. They will be released worldwide alongside the Series X and Series S on November 10th. Director of Program Management Jason Ronald explained the price point in the post. Quote, "This level of consistent, sustained performance requires advanced components, which come at a higher cost than traditional hard drives or SSDs often found in PCs. By partnering with an industry leader in Seagate, we work together to deliver an expandable storage solution which delivers identical performance at the lowest cost possible and available this holiday," end quote. So in the US, Best Buy has listed a Seagate 1 terabyte Xbox Series X expandable hard drive for $219, giving us a good idea of how much it will cost to increase the storage capacity of Microsoft's next-gen console. The device also will be compatible with the Series S, which is scheduled to launch alongside the beefier next-gen sibling on November 10th. It's unclear, though, how much Seagate's hard drive will cost in the UK, or what prices to expect from other similarly sized hard drives from third-party brands. So, yeah. So $220 in the US.
Let me help you out. The current system is to work out what a thing's going to cost in the UK. You take off the dollar sign and you put on a pound sign. The exchange rate is completely different. That's not the true cost, but that's what they do now. So, I mean, so the equivalent would be, for us, it'd be like $250. So just take those two symbols and swip them over. So, yeah, radical.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how pertinent this is going to be to purchase for a lot of gamers. I mean, I think off the bat, I think a lot of people are going to be really hesitant to pay $220 for a expansion slot. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if people out there that are purchasing the Series S, this might be something you're going to need, because a 512 gigabyte storage drive is not going to cut it when you have games like Call of Duty. I mean, you're going to be able to only probably install 2 or 3 games.
Yeah.
So, I mean, where with the X, it's a 1 terabyte drive. So, you got a little bit of space there to play with, but I think a lot of people are going to wait till the price goes down on it. I don't know if people are going to, scoop up any of these expansion, slots and expansion drives right off the bat. I don't know. What do you think, man?
So, I mean, as to the price of technology itself, that's pretty much fair enough. Because if you want to buy a similar PC style component, that's what it's going to cost. I mean, the tech is brand new. It is very expensive. They're not taking the piss with the price. That's unfortunately just how much it's going to be. The trouble comes down to the fact that, like you said, like this smacks of like the Vita. When the Vita came out, like, right? I mean, you have to have one of these cards. There's no two ways about it. I mean, you're going to have a 1 terabyte expansion minimum, because, like you said, like these next gen games are monstrously large, and like you said, having the 512, the 500 gigabyte on the Series S that is literally going to be about 3 games.
Yeah.
Like, forget about it. You're going to have to buy one of these cards. Yeah. So it's a stealth, essential upgrade that you cannot operate the machine without. You don't have a choice. You're going to have to buy one of these cards.
Well, particularly with the next gen games. I mean, because the next gen games are going to be made specifically to, to run the best off of the SSD.
Yeah. So it's not an option. Announcing these as like an accessory. It's a mandatory accessory. So you've just added $220 to the cost of whatever Xbox you're going to buy. And if you buy the Series X with its 1 terabyte hard drive, congratulations, you've got space for 7 games now. Yeah. Like, I mean, you're going to have to. It's a mandatory accessory. You're going to have to buy it.
Yeah, you're going to have to buy it, I think. But like I said before, I think people are going to wait for a little while, though.
There's not going to be a price drop.
Maybe not. Maybe there will be. I don't know. Who knows?
Why would you?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you've got your consumers over a barrel now. I think of other hardware. Does the price of a controller ever come down? Well, no. The Xbox controller is the same price now as it was at launch. Like peripherals and things like this, they very rarely drop in price. So I'd be very surprised.
Well, if that's the case, then a lot of people are going to be, picking them up pretty soon. Then,
we'll see. So. I mean, if you want to play it, you're gonna have to. If you want to buy an Xbox, you're gonna have to have one of these things. It's there's no two ways about it. Unless you literally want to play a game, delete it, install the next game.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you look at it, I mean, the next gen games that are going to be, running off of those SSDs, you're going to need to use, your internal hard disk for that. Sure. But with external storage, you can still play a lot of the last generation games, like the Xbox One era, the Xbox 360 era, like a lot of the Game Pass games, things like that. So a lot of people I can see utilizing, an external storage drive for all of the backwards compatible stuff, and then just for the newer games, just installing and deleting the newer games, to save and not have to buy that external slot, for the time being, I guess. But
fundamentally, you're still going to need you still have to have one of these cards. Yeah. So if you have one of these cards and the USB storage solution for your say backwards compatible stuff, that's fair enough. But you're still going to need one of these cards. Yeah. So what is it? $499 for an Xbox Series One X.
Series X $499 and $299 for Series S. Yeah.
So both of those plus $219 is the cost of entry for the Xbox. There's no two ways about it. So yeah, radical. But it's weird because the PS5 is announced. I mean, they're both talking about instant loading and no loading times, no loading screens. They're both talking about that. But yet Sony's managing to do that from like just external USB storage and the way it handles data. So that's quite interesting. So similar performance in terms of loading times, but one has a bespoke solution that's going to cost you $220 and one isn't. Like you can use any USB 3 external SSD solid state storage and you'd get similar performance.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, as the prices of external SSD storage drives come down, I mean, people might want to, take another like hard disk, an SSD hard disk, and just plug it into their, Xbox instead of buying that expansion, drive, if it's cheaper. So we'll see.
But also makes you kind of wonder then why bother with the bespoke one, the tailored one. But anyway, who knows? Yeah. It seems a bit weird. But yeah, if you want it, you're gonna have to buy it.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep. So all right, let's go ahead and get into the topic of the show. So the topic this week, boy oh boy. So last week I was talking about exclusive. Sony's got all the exclusive. They're just boom, 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 boom. Okay, well, how things change in a week.
Yeah.
So
a week's a long time in gaming.
Yeah, basically. So Anyway, Microsoft has announced their deal to purchase Bethesda Games for $7.5 billion.
ZeniMax, yeah.
And ZeniMax. Yes, ZeniMax, which is the parent company of Bethesda Studios.
Yeah.
So basically, games like Elder Scrolls and Fallout and Wolfenstein and Dishonored and you name it. Now they're going to be, Xbox, first party games, basically.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. What do you think of all this? I think of it as, I look at this as, most of the games that are out now, like, Skyrim, Fallout 4, those games are still going to be supported, with the PlayStation end of things.
Yeah.
But Elder Scrolls 6, Starfield, Fallout 5, those games are going to be Xbox and PC exclusive, I think.
Now, see, I'm not sure because there are numerous asterisks to this whole story, and
well, the deal actually, it's still not going to be finalized until next year.
It's way off. But there's still loads of stuff that has been earmarked and is locked on for appearing on other platforms as well. So the idea of exclusivity won't kick in for like a couple more years yet because, like I said, it's already been signed on for PS4 and 5.
Yeah.
But the thing that, like, it's weird. People have been losing their minds over this, right? But, like, well, what do they actually make besides Elder Scrolls and Fallout? Like, you're only losing... I mean, don't get me wrong. This is a genius move by Microsoft. Yeah. It's very expensive, though. Considering what you're essentially buying is Elder Scrolls and Fallout. Like, you mentioned Wolfenstein. There probably won't be any more Wolfenstein games.
I'm sure there's probably going to be another one. They'll make another one.
Because the last one wasn't. I mean, haven't they done that? Hasn't it been done?
Well, they made that. It was kind of like an expansion with the twin daughters. Yeah, but I mean, there's that BJ Blazkowicz will probably get another game. I mean, it's just
oh my god, that was done. Yeah. And like same with Dishonored. Like people like Dishonored. Like, well, that Dishonored 2 was like 5 years ago when I'm being silly, but that was a long time ago, and that wasn't that great. I was like, I don't know, but as for buying for a bit, again though, a lot of those games will still be marked, and ZeniMax and Bethesda have agreements with Sony to make these games for these systems, and they can't renege on those just because they've changed over to Microsoft. I mean, like when Microsoft bought Rare, for example, they still made games for other systems, other platforms, because they had those in the can at the time of the deal. So, yeah, I don't know. But again, people are losing their minds. I'm not sure why. Because again, like I said,
they're losing their minds, I think, because of the Game Pass end of it. Because everything now is going to come to Game Pass day one, basically, and this is a huge get for Game Pass.
It is, but again, hemorrhaging cash.
Yeah,
like
you're a $1+ trillion company, $7.5 billion. Yeah, it's a lot of money, man. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, there was a tweet that I was looking at a few days back, and the tweet was basically talking about the Bethesda acquisition price, $7.5 billion, right?
Yeah.
Sony's, for example. Sony's 2013 to 2019 operating profit was $8.8 billion.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah. I mean, basically, Microsoft is just flexing their muscles here.
Well, they've got nothing else.
The wallet, yeah. That's the argument that a lot of people are making that, for example, PlayStation really doesn't need to go out and try to match something like this. One, they can't because they don't have that kind of money. But then again, because of all of the, the support that they put into their, first party studios to make, all the great games that they have. Whereas Xbox in the past, they've had problems with studios that, Rare and
I mean, don't kid yourself.
Things like that.
Yeah, Microsoft had pretty much destroyed every studio they've bought. So people should be quite nervous about this because they have a really crap track record about dealing with people they acquire. I mean, they murdered Rare. They absolutely executed Rare. Rare is a joke now. It's an abortion. It's so depressing.
Honestly, I think Phil Spencer's a different person. I don't think that is going to happen under his watch. I just
right.
We'll see, man. I think he's going to give a lot of leverage and let them be as independent as possible.
That's the best possible thing they can do. Yeah. Just leave them the hell alone.
Yeah, but I mean, what do you think, Dan? I mean, some people are comparing this to like how Disney has been buying up a lot of the movie studios. So this is becoming like Microsoft is becoming the Disney of video games. I mean, what do you think of that?
Comparison. Yeah, no, absolutely fair. I mean, like Disney is making everything fairly miserable by owning everything, which it's business capitalism, it works, whatever. I mean, if that's the only thing Microsoft can do is buy up everything, and there's still more ludicrous talks about Microsoft buying Sega. It's not going to happen. Sammy Holdings owns Sega. That's pretty much all they have. They need to hang on to that shit, otherwise it's not going to happen.
Well, there's also rumblings not only about Sega but about Capcom as well. But
all right, yeah, feasible.
Yeah.
I don't think these big Japanese companies will want to be owned by an American conglomerate. I think they'd very much resist that. But then I don't know. What do I know?
Yeah. And then there's also rumblings about people on the Sony side of things saying that Sony should now go out and buy Konami.
Konami's in the toilet. That would be a massive waste of money. Don't anyone buy Konami. You're buying a gym company at this point. Don't
exactly. Yeah, if you want a gym and
pachinko parlor,
for example, like a pachinko parlor or something like that. Yeah, then go buy them. But
Konami's dead. Konami's been dead for like 10 years. Move on. Just bury it. Forget it ever happened.
Yeah, but I mean this talk of okay, well, they should acquire this studio so that the other doesn't get their hands on it or whatever. That's just negative for gaming in general, I think.
I mean, I guess it is. Yeah. Blah.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I mean, this is nothing new. It's having exclusives and licenses and limiting what people can and can't do. I mean, it's happened since the 80s. I don't. If you agree with how Sony does it, you've got to agree with how Microsoft does it. So them's the breaks. They bought it. I mean, again,
it was a brilliant move, man. Brilliant move, and the way that it was, it wasn't leaked. I mean, I've heard that it was leaked to insiders because the deal had probably been, in the works for over 2 years.
Oh man, but then I mean, there's no one to leak because the only people who would have known about it are the executives and the lawyers. They're the only people who need to know about this, so it's not that surprising, really.
But how it didn't get out to the media is just impressive, and
maybe
just a hell of a move by Microsoft, And now this just makes Game Pass. I mean, they announced this the day before pre-orders started, too.
Yeah,
I mean, what a move, man! And it's what's interesting is it'll be really interesting to see. There's 15 million Game Pass subscribers now. That number is going to probably go up exponentially with the new launches, and I think the Series S and the Series X are going to have some pretty good sales now. We'll see,
no doubt.
But, because if you're going to get the next Elder Scrolls, day one on Game Pass, Fallout 5 day one on Game Pass, and the new Starfield, that's the big space MMO that they're working on. Supposedly, that's going to be a day one, and then bringing all those to PC as well.
But I mean, I'm pretty sure Starfield's going to be on PS5 anyway, because that's one of the ones that's already been tied in. I might be wrong. There's a bunch.
So. They're talking about that as that's probably going to be one of those titles that's going to be Xbox PC exclusive.
I mean, I'd be very surprised if that's the case, because these publishing deals will have existed prior, and again, you've got months of negotiations and dotted I's and crossed T's to go through yet. So I still think a lot of these things that people are worried about are still going to appear on other platforms before they get the exclusivity locked in. You'll probably see Fallout 6 and Elder Scrolls 27 will be Xbox exclusives. Everything else, not a chance. They'll still be on PS4.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. You pay $7.5 billion.
But that doesn't matter. You can't renege on stuff that's gone before unless you go, okay, Sony.
Well, yeah, of course, not the things that have come before, but the things that they're coming in the future.
But they're still locked in now, because you say things like Starfield. You think of Fallout 5. They will already have signed up deals with Sony and Xbox, and you can't just go, we bought you out, sorry, you can't have it anymore, without going, okay, sorry, you can't have it anymore. Here's the £11 billion that we screwed you out of. So
show me those deals then. I haven't seen those, so.
You won't have. Like when a game's like announced, when they start developing it, we've got an idea. I mean, they don't even start a game without having publishing secured. So like they'll go, okay, we've got Starfield coming out. Sony, do you want Starfield? Someone goes, yeah, bro, we'll have that. We'll give you some money. So here's some money for that. We signed this deal with you. You're going to bring it to our machine. You're going to do this many copies. We're going to support it for this long. And they go, okay, Xbox, we're going to so these deals are in place. You can't go, we're not doing it now because we're owned by Microsoft. Without Microsoft going, we're going to pay you compensation for this deal we're now reneging on. So the idea of exclusivity will not kick in for a very long time. A very long time. So the next generation of games, perhaps, but games that have been announced and had trailers for and we've seen screenshots of or whatever, they will still be on PS4 and PS5.
Yeah. Simple. Maybe timed, though.
Yeah, maybe. And then maybe they won't get. Maybe won't get all the DLC for it. Maybe they can do this, that, and other. Like remember when
there's so much we don't know yet.
Yeah. But remember when Microsoft bought Mojang and like Minecraft? Well, they still had to support all the other systems that weren't Microsoft. So So
I think Phil Spencer was saying it's going to be like a case by case.
Yeah, it will be. So. Like, as in like they don't already have publishing deals with other platforms. Yeah. It's going to be a good while before that true exclusivity kicks in. And then, like you said, there might just be time exclusive. So it might be on Xbox One S, Series X for a year. And then they'll come to other systems as well because of these things already in place.
We shall see. All right. So now it's time for Dan's retro topic of the week. So every week, Dan comes out with a topic from the world of retro gaming and enlightens us with that. So Dan, take it away, man. Retro topic of the week.
Brilliant. Well, no, it's not so much a topic, more of like just a thing I've been thinking about. So as we enter the next phase, so we enter the X generation, right? Yeah. We've got to think about the 5 and the Xbox Series 1S X tricky.
Dan, one more time. Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S.
It doesn't stop it being crap. Like the worst. And as you've seen, people are buying the last generation
Xbox. The most powerful console, baby.
It's a piece of It doesn't help if you can't remember the name or if people are buying your previous
I can remember it, you can remember it. Come on, man.
But like, it's not working.
Series X, Xbox Series S.
Then why are people buying Xbox One X's if it's such a fail-safe system?
I don't know.
Because Microsoft suck. It's more of an idea, like just thinking back about what denotes a console lifespan. So I was thinking this a lot the other night. I had a bit of a massive flashback to like when the PS4 came out. So when do we cancel? When does the console generation end? When does the lifespan end? Because I mean, in theory, there's lots of crossover, but now we're already starting to think about the PS5. So we've got to think that the PS4 is kind of like on the way out, and there will still be some stuff coming out for it, but everyone's going to be.
So my question to you is then, like, how was that for the PS3 generation, for example, and the 360 generation? When did that really officially end?
Well, that's the thing. Officially,
it was like a few years at least.
Yeah, exactly. Right? This is it. But then the thing is, everyone immediately drops tools and jumps ship. And again, like the idea that we still haven't seen the maximum from either of the current machines. Yeah. Like, there's still things to be done. There's still tweaks to be made on the Xbox One and PS4, and we've instantly jumped into the PS5. It's weird. Like, what is it? So as soon as we're announcing the new system, we kind of focus on like, well, that's what's next. So the PS4 is ostensibly from, what is it, October? No, so November 19th or whenever.
Yeah, in the UK, November 19th, November 12th in the US, and over here in Japan as well. So
yeah, so we've essentially that's dead and we've moved on. It's weird. So I started thinking about when the PS4 came out, and I was just thinking about, like, if you're a tragic person like myself, you measure your life and like major world events by what you're playing at the time. Like, so it's a really weird metric, but I don't remember things like that. I remember things about what I was playing at that time and what I was playing on, which is a weird way of looking at things. So I went back and I thought about like when the PS4 first came out, and I remember playing like loads of Resogun and playing a little game called Contrast, a game about that, and seeing about these things that having this massive nostalgia burst over what's happened to me and the world. Excuse me, since the 4 came out. So like when the 4 came out, I was still living in Japan. When the PS4 died, essentially in like a couple of months' time, I'm back in the UK. And I was thinking about like Resogun and Contrast and Killzone, about how amazing those games looked and how big the upgrade from PS3 to PS4 was.
Yeah, Dan, before you go on, actually, for the podcast in October, we're basically going to have another segment, and we're going to have several guests coming on in October to discuss, for example, the PS4 and the Xbox One, their best and worst memories. For example, kind of like a walk down memory lane of when the PS4 and the Xbox One first came out, and talk about basically what your favorite games, what their favorite games have been during the generation, as well as what their worst experiences were. So yeah, in October that's going to be each week leading up to the console launches at the beginning of November. We're going to be talking a lot about that. So
well, in that case, I'm cutting my retro of the week short here, because that's essentially what was coming for the next couple of minutes. So
yeah, what was Resogun though, man? Yeah, that
Resogun's a better, isn't it? It's cracking.
Oh, I remember me coming over to your apartment in Tokyo, and just when the PlayStation, which you got in the UK, you brought it over to Japan, because Japan, we had to wait until February to pick it up, and you had gone back for Christmas and picked one up because they came out in the UK in November and in the US, and brought it back to Japan. I was jealous as hell. So I came over to your apartment, and you were showing me, Killzone Shadowfall, and then you were showing me Resogun, and oh man, that Resogun was so awesome.
Yeah,
I still play it once in a while.
Yeah. It's really good, and it's on Vita as well. It's cracking.
Yeah.
All right, so that's killed off my segment for this week.
All right, man.
Brilliant.
That's okay. So
in other news, I started playing Mario Sunshine last night, and it's still really good. It's really good.
Okay.
And what else? So okay, yeah. Oh, that'd be good. I'm excited about that, because I like hearing what other people's memories are. Again, because I'm very much a backwards facing gamer. I look back to the gaming past. That's way more interesting to me, and I freaking love other people's nostalgia. I love hearing how other people feel about these things. So that's really exciting. Then that's great. I'm looking forward to that immensely. Actually,
yeah.
Cool.
But also, we'll still have a retro topic of the week, of course, every week.
Yeah, so. Obviously. Jesus, otherwise there's no point in me being here.
All right. Anyway, thanks, Dan, for that talk about kind of the retro-ish nostalgia of the early stages of the PS4.
Yeah,
good stuff, man. Good stuff. Okay, so let's go ahead and get to the new and upcoming video game releases from Metacritic. So this week, for the week of September 28th through October 4th, 3 games to talk about today. So the first game, Dan, this is right up your retro alley. Super Mario Brothers 35 for the Nintendo Switch.
Yep.
That's coming out on the 1st, October 1st. So, Super Mario Brothers with a 35-player twist. Race against time, defeat enemies, and sabotage your opponents in an online battle to be the last Mario standing. Classic Super Mario Brothers gameplay gets an adrenaline boost. Each player is given the same time stage, but you must defeat enemies to earn extra time and attack your opponents. So October 1st. Dan, what do you think about this, man?
I believe it's free, isn't it? If you're a Switch Online subscriber, I think it's free, like Tetris was before it. I think.
Yeah,
I might be wrong. Pretty sure it is. It's like included with your subscription.
Yeah.
No.
So out on October 1st.
Yeah.
So. Next up on October 2nd, Crash Bandicoot 4. It's about time. Yeah. So the devious villains, Neocortex and Dr. Entropy, have finally escaped their interdimensional prison, leaving an evil scientist-sized hole in the universe. Ooh. Now they've got their eyes set on not only simply conquering this dimension, but all dimensions. And it's up to Crash and Coco to save the day. Insanity Beach is where Crash's adventure first started and where it begins in Crash 4. But there have definitely been changes since players first saw Insanity Beach all those years ago. And throughout Crash 4, you'll notice changes to gameplay and even the art style. Good. So, yes, on October 2nd, that's coming out.
I wonder, like, playing Mario 64 had me thinking about how I wonder if, because Crash Bandicoot 1, 2, and 3, they got re-released not so long ago. They're pretty challenging games.
Yeah.
I wonder if 4 is going to follow the same suit, or if it's going to be like a lot of modern games where it's a lot of modern games aren't as challenging or certainly aren't as punishing as those older games are. I wonder if they've maybe made some tweaks.
Yeah, they might have, but I think it's still most of the ingredients of the first 3 games are going to be included, and it's going to be pretty challenging, I think. So
nice. All right, cool.
And it actually comes. It comes, of course, to PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, so it'll be on Xbox this time.
Jolly good.
And finally, Star Wars Squadrons on October 2nd. Yes. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
Yes.
Master the art of starfighter combat in the authentic piloting experience Star Wars Squadrons. Buckle up and feel the adrenaline of first-person multiplayer space dogfights alongside your squadron. Pilots who enlist will step into the cockpits of starfighters from both the New Republic and Imperial fleets and fight in strategic 5 versus 5 space battles. Modify your starfighter and adjust the composition of your squadron to suit varying playstyles and crush the opposition. Pilots will triumph as a team and complete tactical objectives across known and never-before-seen battlefields, including the gas giant of Yavin Prime and the shattered moon of Gallatin. So, yes. So, that is going to be on October 2nd. So, Dan, of these 3 games, for me, Star Wars Squadrons, I'm looking forward to the most. How about you?
Yeah, again, with some hesitation. Obviously, again, we've talked about this before. It's a budget release. It's only £30 in the UK, whereas a new game traditionally is £50.
Yeah.
So that's very cool. And again, I don't play multiplayer. I couldn't care less about squad-based, but there is a single player, and I think...
Yes, there is a campaign.
Also. Yeah. And obviously, it's going to be like really short. It's going to be about 5 levels, I'm guessing. Or there'll be AI bots controlling the... opposition, which I'm fine with.
I'd say probably between a 5 and 10 hour campaign at the most.
Yeah. And so I'm fine paying £30 for what will be a scaled down solo player campaign. Yeah, I'm up for that. I'm happy to pay that. Yeah. So I'm engaged in that. It's going to be good, I think. And it's got full PSVR support. Everything's going to be in PSVR.
Yes.
So cool.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely looking forward to that. Yeah. So I'm kind of surprised. I thought the Mario would be your pick of the week, but
no. Again, multiplayer, I don't really care. And I've got Mario 3D All Stars, and I've got they recently released it on the original All Stars on the Switch Online SNES stuff. So I've been playing that as well. So yeah, meh.
Cool. Yeah, I'm going to get to that soon too. I really want to play that. So
yeah.
Okay, so before we conclude the episode, I want to let everyone know once again where you can find the podcast. You can head over to The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, where you can find us on any podcast app for iOS or Android, as well as on Spotify and on Amazon Music now. Just download your favorite podcast app or open Spotify and search for The Arena a multi-platform gaming news podcast. Subscribe, follow us, post a review, and leave us questions, comments, and feedback if you like. If that feature is available there, and spread the word about the podcast. We also have a website for the podcast at expat2020.podbean.com, where you can follow us and leave questions and comments as well. If you'd like to support the show and get early access to every episode and listen ad-free along with other perks, please visit patreon.com/expat2020 for further details. On social media, you can follow the podcast on Twitter at The Arena, AMPGNP, and you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at expat_2020, and on my YouTube channel, Expat2020 Gaming. You can see my latest videos related to new game releases, game trailer impressions, as well as this podcast. And I'm probably going to be putting a new video up pretty soon on Star Wars Squadrons too, so look out for that. So, and you can also find me on Facebook at Expat 2020, and I have a Discord named the Expat 2020 Arena, where all of you are welcome to discuss anything and everything related to video games, as well as leave questions and comments for the podcast. And finally, I'm also a live streamer on Twitch. I'm a Twitch affiliate, and I should be coming back probably the week of October 2nd or so. I'm going to be coming back to live streaming, but until then, you can check out my highlights and clips on my channel. So that is all from me. So Dan, the Center for Computing History, and for all of the new listeners out there, where can people find you on social media, man?
So the Center for Computing History, we have a web channel, and we have a website, computinghistory.org.uk. We have like retro archives, and we talk about rare and unusual PCs. In fact, I've just put in the finishing touches to a video that I've been editing for the center, all about a Japanese exclusive microcomputer from 1982. So look out for that. Wow. That'd be quite interesting. Yeah, it's very interesting. One of my good friends at the center, Adrian, talks about one of the machines that he's obsessed with. So that's really cool. Myself, I've just about finished rebranding my failure of a YouTube channel. So I'll be publishing that under a new banner and new icons, new logos, awesome. And new music, and probably making a video about something in the near future. But yeah, press start awesome. Game. There's a link on our Podbean page. Yes. I've been streaming a lot of Dragon Quest Builders in my quest to finish that game. Oh yeah, I finished Dragon Quest Builders 2. That game is long. It's staggeringly long. It's ridiculous, but it's a good game.
So when you say streaming, that's on your YouTube channel, right?
I only stream on YouTube. I might. Yeah. I don't really get Twitch. The impermanence of Twitch puts me off because your videos are only kept for like 2 weeks, right? And then they get purged or something. But
well, they can get purged, but you can download them.
Yeah,
you keep them on your hard disk, and
Yeah.
So. Yeah, for me, usually what I do, like my highlights and clips and things like that, I download and then I upload them to my YouTube channel.
Yeah, that's a pretty common thing. Yeah, I might think about doing that, look into doing that. Yeah.
But the thing about being an affiliate, though, is, because you have an affiliated contract with Twitch, you have to wait for 48 hours before you can upload
that makes sense. Yeah,
any content. So it's exclusive to Twitch for that amount of time. So
yeah.
Okay, so thanks, Dan. So we're going to finish the show with our indie recording artist spotlight. And this week, our artist is named James Forrest, originally from Quebec, Canada, who is a composer, singer-songwriter, and multi-instrumentalist, from his album titled James Forrest and the East Road. And the song is called Big White Ship. So this is Expat 2020, along with my co-host Dan. This has been The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast. We will see you in the next one. Take care, everyone. Peace.
See you in a big 1-0. Bye.
I slept all night on a big white ship. Seagulls were dancing all around. I woke up with a sunrise on the sea. Such a priceless gift to me. The salty breeze and the waves. The slow pace, the salty breeze, and the waves. No matter where I play. Yesterday we followed the road of the moon. We drove all day towards the coast. It remembered me the beauty of this life. Such a feeling to be alive. The salty breeze in my lungs, and back to where I'm from. The salty breeze in my lungs. On and on and on and on. Salty breeze and the waves, the slower pace, the salty breeze and the waves. I want to live in an arbor town. I like to see the boats leaving at the break of dawn. I want to live in an arbor town, surrounded by the sea my art is free. The salty breeze and the waves, the slow pace, the salty breeze and the waves. No matter